Are you doing a lot of mindset work and you don't feel like it's working, or you're not moving forward as much as you like to? Well, I'm going to share today why that might be. And if you stay until the end, I have an extra point for you then as well. There are different views on this. Like, I hear mindset is everything. And personally, I don't agree with that. Now, I know I've got a podcast called the Self-Esteem and Confidence Mindset. And it is really important to have a good mindset and to work on your self-esteem and confidence, of course. It's only part of it, though. There is your deeper psychology that I personally experience makes a bigger difference, right? Mindset. So what is mindset? Mindset is your attitude and behavior towards something. And often that's just conscious. There's a lot of undergoing unconscious behaviors and patterns that are playing in the background. And if you don't address them, your conscious sort of willpower is not going to last. Ever tried something on just willpower? Well, it probably didn't work. Now, having spent a lot of money, tens and tens and tens and tens of thousands on personal growth and trying different things, I wanted to share my perspective on this today. And again, I'm here as a guide. You can choose to listen to me. You can choose not to. You can choose to try some of this. I always say, though, that if something resonates with you and you're like, wow, don't just go, wow, that was inspirational and do nothing about it, because your life's not going to change. Your life changes when you actually do something about it. And I don't think many people can argue with that point, okay? When I dived into deeper work, like somatic breath work, going deep into my bodily feelings, or actually learning from Dr. Joseph McClendon, one of my main mentors, and I had the privilege of working alongside him as well. That's when I noticed a big difference in my life with his program, Neuroencoding, actually changing some of those subconscious patterns. So I want to talk about this a little bit today. So mindset, like I say, is the conscious attitude and behaviors you got towards something. Now, your psychology are the ongoing conscious and unconscious behaviors. Your thoughts, which are the words and pictures in your head. That's all thoughts are. They're the words and pictures that are going on in your head. And unfortunately, not all of them are serving you. Ever found yourself naturally like flowing in something and just able to do it? That's because your words and pictures towards that thing are pretty positive and supportive. Yet you find maybe you always struggle with money, or you always struggle finding the right person to be in a relationship with. Well, that's because your thoughts, your words and pictures are probably not supportive towards you. Now, ask yourself this: if you're just trying willpower and that alone, or just mindset, like I'm going to have a good attitude towards losing weight or finding the right person or starting a business, and you're just trying to drive through it, well, you probably found that's exhausting and doesn't last. Well, let's go into a few points today. And we could go like, this is going to take longer than just a podcast episode. This is why I highly would suggest something, which is going to be my final point as well. So my first point is become aware of your beliefs, your words and your pictures regularly. What I do is I write down, there's certain things we can get certain triggers in our life, like things like, or make our body respond in a certain way, feel a certain way. So start becoming more aware of your beliefs, the words and pictures going on inside of you, because that's really going to have a big impact on you. And when you can't become more aware, you can then start addressing it and understanding it, and then start changing them as a result. And how do you change them? Well, you just start focusing on better, more empowering ones. Now, there's different tools, different exercises that may be more beneficial to you. But for now, just become more conscious of the words, the pictures, and the beliefs going around in your head, right? Maybe if you're like, oh, I'm worried about selling, like there's probably a belief there that money is bad, right? You're scared to go out dating. There's probably a belief there that you're not good enough somewhere. Like I had it for many, many years, right? Maybe there's something towards health. You're like, oh, I hate the gym. Exercise is so tough. There's some kind of resentment there towards exercise, right? Start looking at these things, and then you can start addressing it and start seeing where some of these things are coming from. The second point I'm going to suggest is getting involved in some kind of breath work. Somatic breath work, I'd highly, highly guide you towards. Somatic breath work really allows you to go deep, and your body stores, our body is our subconscious mind, as Joe Dispenza put it. Our body stores a lot of memories that are hidden away. And when you can really access the body rather than just conscious thought, you can then start accessing quite a lot of these negative things that have been stored away. That's why like disease can build up if you've got so much suppressed thoughts that are not serving you and you just like putting them away. And there's repression as well, of course, when you're unconsciously choosing to hide something, which was so a lot more traumatic. But sometimes we just suppress things and put it away, like, oh, that's stressful, I'm just getting on with it. Oh, that's stressful, I'm getting on with it. Oh, I don't want to think about that, I'm just going to put it away. Because what somatic breathwork will do is allow you to actually feel, even though you might not like it, and release some of these things that ultimately are going on in the subconscious or the unconscious, whichever one you want to call it. And actually that's impacting you day to day. And then the third one, what I'm going to suggest, as I said, is get a high quality coach as much as you can. You know, get what you can afford to begin with, of course. Push yourself a little. Don't just be like, oh, I'm trying to save some money. Oh, it's not going to be that. I want to buy a house, whatever. Like, you can do those things, but just think about the return on investment you could get on your own self-development journey, right? Listening to this is great. Reading books is great. But like a coach will, honestly, this is my guide to you, will transform your life, a decent coach. They'll be able to help you actually look at some of these behaviors you don't even notice. They won't necessarily tell you. A good coach will ask you the right questions and allow you to see it yourself. So getting a high quality coach is really going to allow you to see some of the blind spots and therefore move through it. So those are my 3 points. My final point I want to share with you for really how you can start transforming your psychology, your subconscious a lot more, is we become what we repeatedly do. And a lot of what we do day to day is habit. I think it, as Aristotle said, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. Also, making the wrong things in your life can become a habit, unfortunately, as well. And things that don't always serve us. What you can do, though, is if something sounds good, something sounds positive, like listening to an audiobook or a podcast that makes you feel good, whether that's about health, wealth, relationships, general personal growth, the more you play that, the more that's going to reprogram you. The problem is there's a lot of negativity out there and we listen to it again and again and again, and that also programs us. If we got people, and that's the same with people, if we got people around us tell us we're rubbish, we're useless, we're not going to amount to everything, that's programming us. So remove yourself from those people. Remove yourself from the negative information, because that is ultimately impacting on your psychology, and it's going to impact eventually on your mindset, no matter how positive you are. A good analogy of this that I once heard was by one of my coaches, mentors, previous podcast guests, actually, Peter Sage, and he talks about the elephant and the ant. So say you've got an ant, and that's your conscious mind. Like that's you've got a good mindset. You want to earn a load of money and like be able to look after people, and that's great. That's amazing. Yeah, and it's walking in one direction, and it's walking in a direction, and it's walking on an elephant that is walking in completely the opposite direction, which is a bunch of negative beliefs and going in the wrong way, which is what you've been programmed with. So therefore, the ant is never going to get where it wants to go, which is your conscious mind and like making more money. But the elephant is a load of subconscious. Money is bad. Money is the root of all evil. You only deserve what you're getting right now. So if you keep listening to like negativity, that elephant's going to stay walking that way. Yet if you start like programming yourself with stuff like money is great, or like this is just a money example, or maybe it's a relationship thing, you don't think you deserve it because you have a lifetime telling yourself you're not worthy. And then you start programming yourself consistently with some good positive stuff, that's going to allow you to go that way. The elephant will change round and go the same direction as the ant. It's a really good analogy when you hear it. So therefore, when you hear something repeated, it will reprogram your direction. Make sure it's positive though. And also when you add emotion to repetition, feeling good, that's really going to change it. That's why it's so important to praise yourself, smile, feel good about things when you do it again and again and again. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Why that just, mindset is amazing. It's great. You need a good mindset to begin with. Yeah, if you're not doing the right things to overcome some of that unconscious behavior, you're not going to get where you want to go. Like, you're just going to be like driven on willpower, and then the programming, if it's negative, is just going to pull you back. So that's what I really wanted to share with you today. So I appreciate you for being here. You're improving other people's lives by being the best you. And remember, you're in control of your own self-esteem and confidence.